Right then, game number 5 of IPL 2021, which also marks the second round of matches. And now that we've seen every team play once, it should help us make our fantasy teams a little easier. And for all the other insights, I'm joined by Dale Steyn and ESPN Cricinfo's Gaurav Sundaraman on ESPN Cricinfo Fantasy Picks. Okay, let's get started then, and we'll pick ESPN Cricinfo's Safe Bet 11. Let's start with our openers. Those are Ishan Kishan and Shubman Gill. At number 3 is Rahul Tripathi, followed by Rohit Sharma, who's also our captain. Surya Kumar Yadav is there at number 5. Not quite his batting position, but here's an interesting stat about Surya Kumar. Now, since 2019 in the IPL, he's got the second best average against spin, and that is at 57.28. This is amongst all the Indians after Virat Kohli. And considering we've seen the Chennai track helping spinners a bit, this should be a very crucial stat. Moving on to our vice captain, that is Andre Russell. Please ignore what happened in the last game. Now, before this season, his last 2 scores at Chepauk, remember, were 88 not out and 50 not out. This is before this season. Dinesh Karthik is also there, another wicketkeeper in our team. He scored a 9-ball 22, a game changer of sorts in the first game of the season against Hyderabad. At number 8, we've got Shakib Al Hasan. And this is going to be interesting because we've selected him as an all-rounder. Jasprit Bumrah is there at number 9. And here's an interesting stat about Jasprit. In his last 8 games against KKR, he's gone wicketless only once. So he ends up picking up a lot of wickets versus the Kolkata team. At 10, we've gone with Rahul Chahar, our leg spinner. And number 11 is our mystery spinner in Varun Chakravarti. 2 quick questions I have for you, Dale. Now, this is a safe bet 11. Shakib Al Hasan, we've selected him as an all-rounder, but if he's going to bat at number 7, may not give you a lot of points as an all-rounder, maybe just as a bowler.
Yeah, I watched him bowl last night. He bowled beautifully. So you would say that he'd be batting at 7, probably more points. You'll know that he'd get his overs under the belt. He'd bowl these 4 overs. So you'd probably get more points out of him for the bowling than the batting, really.
You're a bit surprised that we've selected Rahul Chahar in our safe bet 11, considering that he went for a few runs in his first game?
Yeah, a little bit, but, bounce back ability, you never know. So this is Fantasy League. So it's also, you got to pick wisely and smartly. So, it could be his night.
Okay, let's get some insights from Gaurav now. Gaurav, I believe you've got a few high-risk swaps for us.
Yeah, so I've gone for Quinton de Kock and wanted to get some brownie points from Dale as well by picking Quinton de Kock. So de Kock coming back, he has some match practice under him and he was outstanding last season. So I think de Kock will start firing right away. And yes, we did. Chris Lynn did do very well for them, but I think de Kock will come in for a straight swap purely because of form and purely because of someone who's very bankable for the Mumbai team. I've also gone in for Krunal Pandya. I think very underrated, and the Chennai conditions might suit his style of bowling, and he's likely to also get some batting as well. So as an all-rounder, he becomes very, very useful. And finally, I've gone for Trent Boult. One of the reasons is that if at all, I know there's going to be no swing. We saw nothing for Bhuvneshwar Kumar yesterday, but just in case there is some swing, we know that what Trent Boult is capable of. So those are my 3 changes.
Interesting picks, those. And also, interestingly, you've got Quinton de Kock playing back into the team. And that's exactly what a lot of people expect. I'm just going to be very interested in knowing what are they going to tell Chris Lynn now to set out after he made that 49. Finally, to you, Dale. A bit surprised, even in our high-risk swaps and our safe bet 11, no place for Hardik Pandya or Karan Pollard, match winners in their own right.
Yeah, both of those guys, you'd think that they would walk straight into those teams, but there's so many fantastic players to pick from, especially when you start to drift down that middle order there. You've got Andre Russell, Dinesh Karthik, what he did last night where he scored, 22 of 9 balls. But I'm happy to see Quinny in there, and well done, Gaurav, for getting the bonus points there with me. I'm happy to have Quinny in there, and I think he will slot straight in. I think Chris Lynn will know that he was in for that first game as a pure replacement for Quinny, but now that Quinny's back after quarantine, he'll slip straight back into that starting 11.
Other than Hardik and Karan Pollard that we just spoke about, Dale, also no place for Nitish Rana, the highest scorer in the last game.
Yeah, he batted beautifully the other night. And, I think in place for him, we've got Ishan Kishan, who also did nicely last year. So, you've got those two picks, but he batted wonderfully the other night, set the tone for KKR, and ultimately ended up in a win for them. So he's also another name that he could easily have slipped in there. But like I said earlier, there's just so many great players to fit in, and you got to squeeze them in there somehow.
All right. Thanks so much for that, gentlemen. Dale Steyn, Gaurav Sundararaman. You are watching ESPN Cricinfo Fantasy Picks.